If you love the idea of mindful eating and healthy living, join me, Izelle Hoffman, lifestyle chef, food editor, and author, as we explore ways of achieving health and balance. If you link passion with paycheck, you will never work a day in your life, especially if you think about it from a mindful perspective. How can your knowledge change and positively impact the lives of others? Now, my guests this week are two women of science who are doing incredible things in their field. Dr. Xandra van Heerden is a chemical engineer and Khilona Natha is a geneticist, and both women use science and technology to assist other women in unlocking a healthier future. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, well, it's only my pleasure. We've got lots to talk about today, and I'm dying to find out more about your industry and what you do. But first things first, of course, it's always about mindful living. Now, Xandra, what does mindful living mean to you?
So, personally, to live mindfully is to always take a step back, think about where you are in life, have the choices you made impacted you positively or negatively. If you look into yourself and into your past, you must make sure that everything you do is done in such a way that it impacts you positively. It is important to, if you have aspects in your life that is not fruitful, you must make those changes to ensure that going forward you are on the right track to make your life fruitful.
Yeah. And for you?
For me, mindful living is all about enlightenment. Oh. So I approach things with always the questions of, what is this? How am I doing things? Why am I doing things?
You almost come across like Curious George, right? Asking these questions.
I was always labeled as such. And I think that's also sparked my journey in life. You know, I was always the one to be like, oh, but how does this work? And why is that like that? And
before we jump into all the juicy questions, why I said I've got very educated ladies with me in studio today, because Xandra is actually a GM of a phenomenal company called Optify, and she's got so many degrees at the ripe age of 32 years only. She's such a true inspiration. PhD in chemical engineering, former part-time senior lecturer at the University of Pretoria, and an R&D engineer. Explain to me, what is that?
Okay, so an R&D engineer is someone that at an R&D company or a biomedical company where I worked, the R&D engineer designs and develops the products. So with this specific company, Medica SA, which is our sister company of Optify, there we researched and developed medical devices, specifically wound care devices.
Now I would love to know a little bit more about that. Now, I was born with congenital hip dysplasia, so I can't say I'm the expert in the medical field, but I've sort of sat on the other side of the fence, and I'm blessed to be able to walk like a normal person today, because there's phenomenal people out there like you designing all of these gadgets and things that makes human life just a little bit better.
Yes. So at our company, the whole Southern Medical Group, the main focus for us is to improve everyone's lives. And that just makes everything worth it. All of the nights that we spend, all of the heavy deadlines that we chase is all to improve other people's lives.
People with demanding jobs like yourself, so often you forget about the me, the self, the self-love, the self-care, because you're chasing those deadlines and the new number and the new target, and time often goes by so quickly. For people like you, it must feel like life is sometimes on autopilot.
Yes, it does often feel like that. But when you feel overwhelmed and stressed because you have so many deadlines and your projects are massive and you need to keep everyone happy and you are saving or improving people's lives, it is important to just understand that if you are depleted, that you won't be able to help other people, because you first need to look after yourself.
Yeah, sometimes a day off is also one step in the right direction, right?
Yes.
And now over to Khilona. She's got a master's degree in forensic genetics. Khilona, please do tell us a little bit more.
So I've pursued my studies in genetics from the get-go, And when I got to my postgraduate studies, I decided to be a little bit more fancy. So I was always very curious with forensics. And it was at the time, the popular TV shows, and they also influenced my decision. I'll be very honest.
She watched a lot of CSI.
I did. Abby was amazing.
I think so.
So I then did my research and I found this amazing program and I went into it and my mind just was blown. So I then specialized in things like human identification, crime scene evidence processing, things like that.
Oh, wow. So how did you go from all of that to where you are today?
My internal passion is always to help. So that's also kind of why I did the forensic sciences. But then what I also figured is that people need to be aware how to help themselves. So I went into this DNA testing field where what we do is we aim to put the power back in your hands. So we try and look at your intrinsic genetic code. So everybody understands genetic codes as being sort of the ones and zeros, the binary to your life. And what I then do is I try my best to help you understand what your genetic code is saying in terms of your health, and then what you can do to change things in your diet, your lifestyle, exercise, habits, all those things to better yourself.
When you live mindful, you need to always try and be the best at what you do at all times. But yes, we can't go back and erase mistakes. And that often shows on our skin. Now let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure, yes. So your skin, like you say, is a phenomenal organ. But unfortunately, it's the organ that's exposed to everything.
Yes.
So both internally, what you eat in your diet, how you look after yourself, but also externally. So if you're looking at your screen the whole day, if you're in a very polluted environment, all those things. So we always try and emphasize that skin is a two-part role.
Yeah.
So you've got the external, which you can control, the products you use, how often you wash your face, all those things. But then also internally, what you put into your body, what your genes are telling you as well.
Yeah.
Because there's certain things that we can't really control for. And that will then manifest on your skin.
Within our industry, our main focus is to help women have confidence in their skins.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. So we develop multiple products that have specific goals and functions. So if you have a concern, you can find a specific product that will mitigate your concerns in time after you've used it. But as Khilona said, it is important to not only focus on your skincare products, but your lifestyle. So with the DNA test, that gives you the one aspect of how you are enabling yourself to improve your skin, your health, your happiness.
Oh, I love that. Being happy in your skin, right?
Yes.
Being confident in your own skin. I mean, that's so important. But if listeners want to know more about what you ladies are getting up to, just give us a website and maybe an Instagram or a Facebook handle we can give you a follow at.
Yes, okay. So you can find us on our website. It is at www.optify. I'm going to spell that. optify.co.za.
Oh, fantastic. And of course, Instagram. I mean, nowadays, if it's not on the gram, it doesn't exist, right?
Yes, so you can find us on Facebook and Instagram as well at Optify Skincare. So again, Optify, OPTIPHI, Skincare.
Oh, absolutely love that. But we're going to have to talk a little bit about more food now. And of course, in my book, Mindful Eating, you ladies page through that a little bit. What would you guys say is your favorite ingredient and why?
So for me, I love turmeric.
Who doesn't love turmeric, right?
Also being of Indian culture, so turmeric has basically been in my veins since conception.
Thanks, Mom.
So we always believed that turmeric was sort of our miracle healer.
Yeah.
So in terms of its anti-inflammatory properties, we have it in almost everything that we
it's
eat.
specifically the curcumin, right? That's in the turmeric.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we even use it on our skins as well. Yeah.
Do you eat a specific way from a cultural perspective? How does that link up with ingredients and things like that you choose?
Yes, so again, because of my cultural background, but I'm also a lacto-vegetarian. So for me, my diet is excluding meat and fish and eggs as well.
Okay.
So I do have dairy products, but then the rest is purely vegetables and fruits.
And turmeric, right?
And turmeric. Of course. I have to have my turmeric.
And Xandra, for you?
So I start every preparation of every meal using olive oil.
Oh, the famous olive oil. I absolutely love olive oil.
The anti-inflammatory is one of the reasons why I prefer olive oil to many other ingredients. I have seen the impact it has on my health and my skin eating in an anti-inflammatory focused way.
Yeah.
So it does make a difference, and that's why I just use it in everything.
Absolutely love what you're saying. And I mean, I can so relate. So a lot of people think I'm either vegan or vegetarian, which I'm not. I do consume meats. Absolutely love my fish, specifically salmon, omegas, beautiful
Yes.
anti-inflammatory, of
The
course.
best.
I do eat chicken. I eat very minimal red meat. And what I often do, and I explain to people, either sugars or fats add flavor to food. So when I cook anything that's sort of high in saturated fats, like for instance, the skin on the chicken, or that extra fat on the lamb chop or the cutling or something like that, I often cut that off and I replace it by adding a little bit extra olive oil to the dish, because you bring back all the flavor and all the goodness, all the heartiness, all that hug in a bowl situations we all love during winter so much. So all the flavor is there. We were just mindful about choosing our sort of source of the fat in our recipe, and for that reason you get to have that little scoop extra just because you can, right?
Yes, definitely.
Now we have spoken about our favorite ingredients, and let's talk about relationships with food. Doctor, what would you say is a good relationship with food?
So for me, the main focus of your relationship with your food should be celebration, and you should not punish yourself with food, but you have to reward yourself. So in a environment where a lot of people are scared to eat and are scared to eat specific foods because they are scared that it will make them gain weight, or it might make them break out, or any of those bad effects of it, they must rather choose their ingredients carefully.
Yes.
Quality
There we go.
is important, and reward yourself, because food should equal happiness.
100%. I'm such a firm believer of that. I mean, I cook with love.
Yes.
Food is not there to, eat something and then punish yourself afterwards.
Yes.
But if you can educate yourself a little bit more around ingredients, I mean, how often do you think people take a product off the shelf and actually turn around to read the ingredients? Because on the one side, often people think they're eating healthy, but yes, certain products can be a healthy product, but it contains unhealthy elements or ingredients in there.
Yes.
And that's why I'm always the first person to encourage people to cook from scratch and cook at home, because then you know what you're putting in those dishes. And so often when you cook at home, it tastes so much better, right? Because you taste that love and effort that went into that food. I always say that's why your mom's food is always the best, because she wanted to cook it for you, because she cooked with love and intent.
Completely agree with you.
Yeah. And you, what would you say is a good relationship with food?
So building on what Dr. Xandra said is also for me appreciation.
Oh, love that.
So again, because of my cultural background, Indians, we revolve practically everything around food. So we use
celebrations, everything, right?
Yes, we use it to bond with our loved ones. I mean, between, somebody who's teaching you how to cook, you just value that relationship or that moment so much more, and appreciating the amount of effort that goes into preparing food. Also things like just using all your senses, the aromas, the taste. It's just, for us, it's a bonding moment.
Oh, sure. And last but not least now, how important is giving back? And would you say that is the key to happiness?
Yes, so for me, 100%. If you make a difference in someone else's life, that difference carries so much weight that it will... I watched this one movie, Pay It Forward.
Oh, I love that movie.
Right? It's a very old movie.
Yeah.
But that movie is the essence of what we as a community must embrace. Because if you just smile at someone that needed a smile, that person's whole perception of the day will change. For me, being friendly and and helping other people, changing their lives is something that you can't put a price on.
No, definitely.
Yes, I completely agree with that as well. I think also, given where we're at in the world, humanity is the most important thing right now. And as much as we also help people, I feel for me personally, I also love to help animals. I'm very passionate about their welfare. And for me, that is so fulfilling, just knowing, like Dr. Xandra said, if you made that positive impact or change for somebody or an animal or something, it just means the world to me.
Now, if you link your passion to your paycheck, it means you're never going to really work a day in your life, right?
Agreed.
Both of you work in a work environment where you get to develop products and work with products that is, in fact, bettering people's lives every day. Do you go to work every day thinking, you're at work and you have to get all these deadlines and lots of, research done and products done? Or do you go to work inspired, feeling today I'm changing people's lives?
Yes, of course.
For me, I feel it's so satisfactory when I get a client coming back to me and saying, wow, what you did for me really helped or really improved my life. I'm feeling so much better. And I think that's what I look forward to in my line of work.
Yes, and for me, it is important to identify what your passions are and then striving to be in an industry or in an environment where you can have the passions in your daily life. Because I also agree, if you have your passion linked to your paycheck, that you don't really work. Yeah. And for me, I have two main passions. And the one is problem solving.
Oh, that's a passion we should all really work on, right?
True.
And then the other one is biomedical engineering. So where I work, both those are part of my everyday life. So the problems that come up in the biomedical or bioengineering field, they are so exciting for me that if I can implement processes that mitigate any problems that come from these issues, then I feel so empowered. And that is why I love my job.
Khilona, I can just see Xandra coming to work every day. Problems, bring them on. I'm ready for you.
We always running, Xandra.
Then
We've got a problem for you.
Then I normally say, okay, let's breathe, give it to me, and let's sort it out.
And community projects. I mean, let's talk something grassroots, for instance. I mean, it's one thing helping people that can afford products, that can invest in their skin, but what advice can you give to people that, is just trying the best they can with what they have?
So I would definitely say you should rather wash your face with water than using a very harsh soap.
Yeah, I always vouch for go natural if you can. Home remedies are always fantastic for those who don't have access to, the higher end products or things like that. So whatever's in your pantry, do some research and you can put together an amazing mask. Remember the turmeric?
Yes.
You see clearly, we're getting back to those best friends for life, right? And what other elements of food do you think, people can have as staples in their pantry that would, for instance, be in your pantry at home?
So for me, I always have fresh greens. Always.
Oh, yes.
Mainly,
nice and alkaline.
Yes, mainly, because I am a vegetarian as well. That's basically what I eat. But I just think it has so many valuable properties. People don't actually realize it. And for me, and ginger. I love ginger, my garlic, my all antioxidants, anti-inflammatories. That's in my pantry.
For you, what can we find in your pantry, ma'am?
So in my pantry, you will always find fresh fruits. So I'm not a big veggie eater, but I love my fruits, and that is my normal snacks.
And which ones do we have to opt to go for that glowing skin that you've got?
So I do blueberries and strawberries and bananas.
It was such a pleasure to be talking to both of you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your extremely busy schedules to come sit around a microphone with me and just, share a couple of ideas and insights and your ideas of being mindful every day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. Yes.
And like author and motivational speaker Jim Rohn always says, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live.
I'm Izelle Hoffman. Thanks for joining me as we journey towards mindful living. Find more at jacarandafm.com. Click on Jackpot.